Hi guys, this is part 3 of the Jennings 8 Jeff Davis Parish in Louisiana. They have a new sheriff, and he has a new team of investigators reviewing old cases. They have a new evidence area, and they have new computers and probably a new filing system. And he states that he has been part of the original task force in the Jennings 8 deaths. And of course, Dr. Oz has got himself involved in this case by doing a little show on it. But not many people were very happy with him because he didn't do a very good job, and he never got any new information to offer the investigation team. And, the family members of the victims, they were not very happy with him. As we know, most of the victims, they knew each other. They probably grew up with each other. And they all lived on the south side, which is known, for the south side, poor. Very poor people. They live in poverty, working class, minimum wage jobs, and they mostly, there's a lot of drugs, a lot of drug dealers, a lot of sexual activity going on, and it's all done in the open. You could look out your window and there it is, smack right in front of your face. Nobody can get away from it. So, it seems like it's a very poor part of the town, very poor, and it's probably kept that way because nobody's cleaning it up. Nobody wanted to spend the money, and it's just gone rampant. They're like just left to their own devices type of thing. But you gotta remember, this was way back in 2000, before 2005. So it's many years ago, but not that long ago, but it's still a long time ago. And it probably hasn't changed that much today. But let's hope it has. Let's hope it in 2019 they do a real cleanup. But when you live in poor areas and they don't do much for the community. And there's a lot of people that live there, probably brought up there, they were born there. They only know what they know. They only know that town, that little village. And it was probably not always like that. It's just got like that. And there's a lot of swamp areas around there, a lot of hiding places. It's the bayou. I mean, it's swampy. A lot of bushes, a lot of ditches, a lot of canals. That kind of thing. A lot of people go fishing and hunting around there. So that's a little bit about that. Nicole, she was the last known person to die from Jennings 8 that they know of. And she was the one that was dumped visible along Acadia Parish area. And where she was dumped, there was a sign. There's a sign there that says no dumping. I mean, whoever did these killings were sure cocky of themselves. Yeah. Because these girls were only a little bit away, like in a big circle. And, not far from each other. And it seems like nobody see nothing. Oh yeah, they did. Because the town is talking about it. People from that town and family members say, people talk and say, yeah, I know who it was, but they're not talking. Everybody's saying the thing, but they said they are too scared to talk. Now, how can one be that scared to talk? I mean, it's 2019. How are you going to be that scared to talk? And if you are that scared to talk and you know the truth, they will give you protection. Yes, they will. They will protect you. They sure will. Now, they could even change your name and get you out of there. And your family. They could. It's worth it. They probably would, to solve these murders. To get this person behind bars for the rest of their life. And a resident said, I think her name was Mary, she had stated that each one of them could have lived to be as old as we are now. Only God knows what they could have been. Yeah, that's right. If they were alive today, God knows what they could have been. They could have had a great career. They would have had a loving family. And they could have been somebody. And the youngest was only 17 years old. They were never given the chance to get out, get their life together, better themselves, go to college, get themselves some help and treatment. They never got to raise their children. Some never had children. They never got the chance to get married and see their grandchildren grow up. They never got that chance. It was taken from them. Now, they were into drugs, and they did prostitute, but they also had a family, and they loved each other. Now that was taken away from them. Now some of these victims, their cause of death is not determined, and one of their bodies they couldn't even identify for a couple of months. I will just recap on the victims, on where they were found. And some information, it's like the news channel. Some say this and some say that. Some say they're this old, but they were that old, and the dates are off a little bit. Every time I look at something, they're off a little bit by a few days. So that's just how it is. I don't know if anybody can get the dates right. But on May the 20th, 2005, Loretta, she was 28, and her body was found nude, spotted, floating in the canal, around 5 miles outside of Jennings. Examiners said amounts of cocaine and alcohol was in her system. Cause of death undetermined. June the 18th, 2005. Ernestine. She was 30 years old. Remains turned up in a canal around 5 miles south where Loretta's body was found. Drugs were in her system. Her throat had been slashed, and she had wounds on her wrist, which meant she put up a good fight. She was fighting for her life. Her death was homicide. March the 18th, 2007. Christine. She was 21. 2 years after her body was found in water, also, she was nude, and she had one sock on the left foot of her body. And her body also was badly decomposed. No cause of death could be determined. May the 29th, 2008. Laconia. She was 23. They call her Muggy. Must be a nickname. She was found by the roadside, and right away investigators called this a homicide. Her throat had been slit, 7 cuts to the neck, 3 cuts behind the right ear. September the 11th, 2008. Crystal. She was 24. A hunter reported a foul smell in a wooded area. When police got there, they only found a skeletal remains and a decomposed to natural elements. It prevented the examiner from determining that the remains were crystal until November the 7th. No cause of death has been determined. November the 15th, 2008. Brittany. She was the youngest. She was only 17 years old. She had gone missing November the 2nd. Last seen on a video at the dollar store. 1 week later, after Crystal's body was identified, her remains, Brittany's remains, her body was found off a highway in Jennings. And she was ID'd by her tattoos. No cause of death. Whitney. She was 26. May the 12th, 2007. A passerby noticed her nude body by the side of the road, around 5 miles outside of the town. And she was the first or only one to be dumped on dry land. They say she had a lot of drugs in her system. Cause of death has not been determined. August the 19th, 2009. This was the last. Nicole. She was 26. Only hours after she was reported missing, highway workers allegedly came across her body. No official cause of death has been made. The people from Jennings, I guess they're probably talking about, most people that live on the south side, say drug use is a fact of life where all the victims live. All the victims had struggles with drugs. All lived in the south side of Jennings, and they were all poor, working class. And then there's the north side. The north side is middle class, upper class.